everyone, my name is Ray, and we're going to be talking about the new tier, quote-unquote, 12 Japanese carrier, the Sekiryu. Now, how to obtain the Sekiryu is going to be the same as the other super ships I've seen happen in the past. It's going to be through auction. It's going to start on December 1st, and the minimum bets will be for 100 million credits, 500 total winners on all 4 servers, and it'll last until December 5th. And as usual, all the winners will pay the lowest winning bid, and everyone else will be compensated for how much they entered with. So the Sekiryu, it is the evolution of the Haku, and everything that you see on the Hakuryu is going to be on the Sekiryu except for the tactical planes. We can take a look at the ship here. This is her Permacamo. And if we change to the alternate color scheme, it looks just a bit lighter green. And this is very similar to the camouflage you see historically on the Zukaku class carriers, which is really nice because I really like their camo scheme. And yeah, it just looks pretty clean in general. Now, these are the tacticals up here, the 5. There's 3 rocket planes, and then there's 2 torpedo bombers. These are the Keiyun and the Shindens. Now, these rocket planes right here, you can see that the layout is very strange, and I know that a lot of people have not seen this type of plane style before. We'll be able to see it in battle once we launch these planes, but basically this is going to be a rear pushing style, a rear pushing layout. You can see that there's the rears right there, but we can take a look at this in battle. The Sekiryu, as I said, is going to be the same, pretty much the same exact thing as you see on the tier 10 counterpart, the Haku, regarding its tactical, regarding its standard squadrons. Everything you see here is going to be the same copy-pasted versions of the tier 10 counterpart, rockets, torps, and the bombs. Only difference is going to be for the only difference is that going to be for the tactical squadrons. There's only 2 of them compared to United States and Eagle's 3. So she gets 3 standard versus a normal 2, and then she gets 2 tactical over the others 3. A lot of people were saying that she's not going to be a very strong super carrier because of this, but I will try to showcase that she is, in my opinion, the strongest super carrier in the game currently, because she doesn't have to use or rely on tactical squadrons. So these tacticals, let's take a look at them. First of all, they're going to be 1725 HP. This is with the build, by the way. I'm not running Suzuki on this one. I can switch over to show you guys the build that I actually use. But with the standard commander, with this, what's it called? Survivability expert on the planes. Yep, survivability expert. You're going to be looking at a plane HP of 1725, maximum speed 372, basically doubled the regular cruising speed. And we're going at 3 planes with 3 what's this here, 8 rockets, and each rocket maximum damage 3150. The penetration is 30 millimeters, not that high, and you're gonna have a prep time of 158 with the full build. We're gonna take a look at it here. These are the ones that I was talking about that looks very strange to many. Not many people would see something like this before. These 3 right here. And then when we take a look at the torpedo bombers, the Keiyuns, these guys are going to be at 2700 HP. Maximum speed is 319. Not the fastest that you see on a tactical squadron. It is up there. I believe it's like the middle between the 2. 2 planes, 2 torps. It's going to be 2 torps on each plane. So versus the normal standard squadron of 1 torp per plane with 2 planes total during the attacking flight, the Sekiryu is going to have 2x2. And these torps are going to be the same torps that you see on the standard squadron, which is 9300 maximum damage, the same torpedo speed, the torpedo range, everything is going to be pretty much the same there. The prep time is 248, which is standard for same as the Eagles, I believe, and engine boost time 35 seconds. So there we go. Those are the tactical squadrons. Not much to really say about the carriers. The tacticals and the standard squadrons, nothing really changed here, but other than the fact that you have another set of torps added on to your attack, and then these planes, these very strange looking planes that not many have seen before. And the final thing I want to touch on is the Citadel. So comparing to the, or just armor in general, compare this to the United States and the Eagle. All right, everyone knows that the United States is very easily punished, very easy to kill. The Sekiryu is just like the Haku, where it's extremely armored on the flight deck. But on top of that, comparing to the United States Citadel, which is literally just this, 19mm just open right there, easily punished. We're gonna look at the Sekiryu Citadel. And the Citadel is actually right here. But the difference with this, even though it is raised up a bit, it has layered armor protecting it. It is very difficult to Citadel the Sekiryu unless you are up close or you get really good dispersion on your shells when sniping this carrier. It is very difficult to kill because the AA, the anti-air, is also quite good. It's just like the Haku is to the Midway to the Audacious. Same exact thing here. The Sekiryu to the United States to the Eagle. On top of having very good flight deck armor, pretty good Citadel protection armor, and this thing is pretty much a beast in comparison to the other two super carriers that we already have in the game. Now, if you take a look at the build, I'm running the standard build that we usually run on the Hakuryu. Torp speed can be changed for the attack time if you want to, and then my build. This is generally what people will be going for: side stab, the torpedo bomber heal with proxy fuse. I personally use, where is it? I personally use this build on pretty much all of my carriers. Side stab, torpedo spec, and then I drop proxy fuse for anti-flak. You don't have to do this. It is just what I've been running since months ago now, and a lot of people questioned it, why I don't run proxy fuse. It's more of like a, if you want to run it, you can run it. I just don't run it anymore. I prefer the more survival build, and I like going max torpedo speed so I can drop it further back, while also being able to chase DDs if they're stuck in a crossfire. That's pretty much it for the showcase of this carrier in port. It is very, trust me when I say this, it is very tanky. Very difficult to kill this thing. It quite durable. You know, something like an Eagle, kind of suffering a little bit. You know, you have the 38mm flight deck on the outers and then 102 in the center, but you still have a very squishy bow and front and tip of the flight deck. United States just gets smashed pretty much all over the place. You just use HE, kill it like that. Sekiryu, not the easiest to handle, not the easiest to take care of. Sure, the CV can spot and you can try to attempt to snipe it, but this thing is going to be quite durable. And that's pretty much the general overview of the Sekiryu, and let's go ahead and showcase her in battle. Alright, and we are off in our first game of the Sekiryu. Matchmaker, 5 DDs. We love any server, 2 cruisers, and 4 battleships with another super CV, which is an Eagle. Now, Eagles we can snipe, but we're not going to showcase that in this game. We're going to have to be on DD duty if my teammates fail to really deal with them. But we'll see how this goes. So the Sekiryu, as you can see, it is the 3 standard squadrons with 2 tacticals, which is a very good loadout. Much better than the other 2 super series that we have, because you're essentially just playing a Haku, but with extra upgrades, which is the 2 tacticals added onto your carrier. This I do like. I like how Wargaming went with this layout. I really wish the other 2 carriers were like this instead of being some super gimmicky, weird, different playstyle with mechanics, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's not really an upgrade or a further advancement of the line. It's just a whole different arcade game style carrier, you know. Not very interesting to me. But yeah, these rockets are the same. Everything is the same as the Haku. So pretty much until we get our tacticals ready, it's gonna be the same gameplay that you'll notice on the Haku, pretty much. So until then, I guess we'll just be doing like a normal Haku commentary. So right now we do have a perma-fire on that Satsuma. We're going to try to bully him down for a little bit before the DD start pressuring the caps, and then we're going to transition over to a more cap control style. The Yu Yang is spotted. Let's go ahead and drop the Yu Yang, and then we're going to go for the Satsuma. We want to make a good... make this strike very efficient. Try to see if the Yu Yang will get spotted again. Hopefully we have enough time. He is out of the cap, so... Does he eat a torp? I think he's gonna eat both torps. Wow. Sekiryu is broken. Alright, so there's that. That's why I like to run the double torpedo speed build on the Haku and the Sekiryu. It just lets you catch some DDs like that off guard and they're just not ready for it. If they're too focused on being, you know, stuck in a crossfire or anything, you can easily come in from the side and just get them with another strike. So we're just going to be bullying the battleship as usual. He's alone on this flank, which is really fortunate for him. His DD did die as well just now, so we're just going to be able to get some multiple nice strikes on him. We're going to leave the area, we'll leave his AA for a little bit, and then once we're ready, we can get him from his broadside again. He was flooding earlier, so he DCP'd this one. And one thing to remember about the Sekiryu as well as the other Super CVs, your fighters only last 20 seconds. Arrival time is around 3 seconds, so you essentially only have like 17 seconds of active time on your fighters. But there's no point really of putting down your fighter to spot something like what you would usually do with another carrier. Which is a pretty big downside in my opinion. This guy's gonna drop fighters on me. Is he hitting Menace? No, he's not. Thankfully our Habados killed the planes with our AA as well, so that's good. And the Morsei is down, so let's go ahead and actually try to pressure this. We can try to W in here. That's some the DCP, but we're just gonna be going for the Missouri instead. It's a better angle for us, and he's closer. And we have our tactical torps up now. So these guys are the fun ones. These are basically the normal Haku setup, the 2 planes, but instead of 1 torp per plane, it's 2 torps per plane, so you have 4. The damage is the same, everything else is the same, but you go super fast. So let's try to get the angle on this Missouri and we can drop him here. Start the attack run early. So we can go full speed, and then we turn. Get the better angle, and then we release. Because he was not full speeding it earlier, he's gonna eat all 4 torps here, and we can showcase the damage from all 4. And there we go. A nice solid hit. He's essentially dead. He's basically done for the game. And we're gonna be ending this game quite soon unless they kill something. Which, okay, we lost a battleship, we lost a DD. Good. Game lasts a little longer, so that's nice. Let's go ahead and see if we can finish off that Missouri. He is healing. But yeah, in terms of power, I definitely view the Sekiryu to be the top dog now in the game, overtaking the United States and the Eagle. Mainly because you have the consistent damage output that's getting sent out constantly with every strike. You don't have to worry about my rockets, you know, United States rockets don't really do anything. They only focus DDs. You have, you know, regular HVARs. You're kind of limited to lighter units. Meanwhile, the Eagle, you don't have rockets. You have to utilize more heavier targets. You have to focus more slower, larger units with your bombers, your torpedo bombers. But in return, you get the burst from your tacticals, right? You have 3 tacticals for both Eagle and United States. Sekiryu, though, you can just play like a normal Haku. You can adapt very easily. If you know how to play the Hakuryu well, you'll play the Sekiryu well. You'll just be getting more damage at that point. It's just a straight upgrade. Like the Sekiryu just has this very short gimmick of having an additional squad, 2 squads, which are the tacticals. Not much different from its original standard squadrons either. So that's also very nice. it definitely feels like an upgraded Hakuryu. Let's see if we can get this guy out of here. He did have to slow down there to dodge those torps, so I think we catch him if our torpedoes spread out evenly. And we do get him. There we go. So there's that. 2 DDs down with our torpedoes. Go ahead and drop the Satsuma again. And this is basically going to be the standard game of how the Sekiryu is going to play out. You have so much options because you have 3 standards. You're not limited to one thing, which is your rockets have to go after DDs. And then if you're playing the United States, you have your dive bombers, but you lose a lot of your bombers anyways because of how long they sit in AA. Here's an incoming salvo from the Satsuma. Nothing. No damage. 0. All thanks to the incredibly strong flight deck armor that the Hakuryu also has as well. It just all gets transferred over, and this is why I think she's just such a scary carrier compared to the United States and Eagle. A lot of people I've been reading on the forums, a lot of people in the servers, saying that the Sekiryu is going to be weaker than the United States, specifically because it doesn't have the burst output that the United States does, which is, it's half true. It doesn't have the power that the other super carriers have. It doesn't have that burst potential, but you have the consistent torpedo threat that the others, that is similar to how Eagle has the torpedo threat, but she lacks the rockets, right? Now we have our, again, I don't know if you can hear that vacuuming in the background. But yeah, this is pretty much the strength of Sekiryu. It's just constant damage output over and over and over again, and they just can't do anything against it. And it's like the Eagle is limited to large units. He can't strike the destroyers as effectively as how a United States can. But then again, if you play the United States, you don't have the consistent threat of basically nuking a battleship or a cruiser, because you're limited in your standard squadrons. Only until the timer goes out, and only until the timers allow you to get the tactical squadrons to be sent out again, that's when you're going to start having a large impact on the game. But during that time, you're kind of just waiting for your tactical squadrons to be readied up again and send them out. Sekiryu, you could just keep playing the game like you usually do. Just keep threatening the enemy team over and over again. And then when your tactical squadrons come up, it's like, hey, I have another option. And like I said with the torpedo bombers, this heal is 2 minutes long. It's a 2-minute cooldown on the heal versus the United States, or sorry, the other carriers like the Eagle. Eagle has a 3-minute heal. This is a standard thing for all of the carriers in the game. The Japanese line of carriers have a very fast reloading heal of 2 minutes. And because you have the option of having tacticals now added into your arsenal, what you can do is, just like if you guys ever watched my United States video way before her nerfs happened, you could play this more like a rotation-focused ship. You send your torpedo bombers out, pop the heal, do your strikes, and then when you recall them, send out your bombers, rockets, or in this case, you can now send your tactical squadrons. And this all takes 2 minutes long to send them and then recall them. And by that time, after that strike finishes, you'll have another heal ready, and you can just repeat the whole process over and over again. And because you have 3 standard squadrons now that are always going to be regenerating planes, on top of having only 2 tacticals that are every once in a while, you'll be regenerating a lot more planes than you usually would compared to another Super CV like United States or Eagle, who have only 2 standards and 3 tacticals. So pretty much it's just the gameplay thought process of, different way of thinking. You have more consistent strikes, more options that you can use in during the fight, more flexibility, pretty much, compared to something like an Eagle or United States. Very limited gameplay, very limited options, but you excel in that one thing. United States being burst potential with your torpedo bombers, heavy, really large damage output with this squadron alone, and is fairly quick as well, 195 seconds regeneration. If we add on the commander with the regeneration. I believe it's 180. This is 185 seconds, right? But during that time, while you're waiting for these tacticals to load up, you're only limited to these two. Rockets for DDs, maybe cruisers. Bombs for DDs or maybe battleships, right? And when you need the midway style torpedo bombers, or any torpedo bombers for that matter, you don't have it. You have to wait for these guys to be up. And during that time, you're kind of just sitting there like, oh, I wish I had torps. When you're playing Eagle, you're like, I wish I had rockets. Eagle doesn't have the amazing rockets that the Audacious has, which is very surprising to me. I don't know why they let it be like that, but that's just the way it is. You don't have your amazing rockets that the Audacious has. Sekiryu, everything is just the same as the Haku, except you have 2 additional weapons, right? This is why I personally believe Sekiryu is the strongest carrier in the game out of all the other super ships. Out of all the other super carriers. It's just no contest there. On top of the United States having very weak armor, you can kill it very easily. This thing only goes 34 knots compared to Sekiryu's 36 knots, right? Turning radius is much smaller. Same concealment as the 2, but you're more heavily armored and you have fairly good AA as well. So this thing is just, I don't know what else to really say other than this thing is just a beast in my opinion. The games that I showcased just now, it wasn't a very crazy game. This is like quote-unquote standard game, right? We did kill the DDs with our torpedo bombers, but everything is pretty much the same that you will see on a Hakuryu. It's just you have more upgrades. You have a more strengthened setup compared to a gift setup of what the United States has, what the Eagle has. It's just overall more powerful in my opinion, more consistent. And this is what I like about carriers, especially super CVs or super ships in general. It adds what it carries over what the previous ship in the line has. Kind of like Annapolis has basically the same style as a Des Moines, except, well, the burst firing mode, which kind of ruins it for me. The Sekiryu has pretty much the same thing at a Haku, but you just have 2 tacticals. So it carries that theme of a super ship, a super CV, but it's not, the majority of the gameplay is not overtaken, or it's not just overlapping the entire thing that a normal CV would have. It doesn't change up the whole mechanic, the whole gameplay system, the whole thought process of it. It just carries the same as the Haku, which is really good. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for the Sekiryu. Nothing too crazy. I don't want to showcase this, you know, like a crazy 400, 500k damage game, death strikes left and right, you know, nuking everyone. We couldn't even use the bombs, but the bombs are again the same as the Hakuryu, so whatever you see on the Haku is going to be carried over to the Sekiryu. Only things I really wanted to showcase were the tactical rockets, which we did, and then also the tactical torps, which we kind of nuked the Missouri for a ton of his HP, which is really nice. And that, yeah, that's pretty much it for the Sekiryu. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys going to be doing this auction for the Sekiryu, or are you guys going to wait for it? You know, those of you who have the credits, of course. I personally will be going for this auction. I usually skip out on auctions for super ships, but Sekiryu is definitely going to be one that I'll be picking up myself because, well, it is a carrier. I do make content for carriers, so yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Let me know what you guys think about this carrier. If you guys think that it is a weaker United States, or if it's another contender to take the top spot. Let me know. Thanks for watching, guys.